Hi there, my name is QB. Welcome back to the probably last crafting video where we go over the specifics on how to craft items. These are going to be the inventions from the engineer class and the mixing table from the chemist class. Like we showed in the job section, anyone can pick up any of these abilities and can use these tables if you so choose to. So, starting off, we have these two sections do not use the crafting point system from the rest of the crafting tables, but this is job specific how to create things and make things work. So this is the best guide it goes in, because inventions are technically crafting. So first off, we have inventions don't require the same amount of time, space, and materials as other crafted projects do. So other crafted projects require a good chunk of space, a good living quarters area to be able to set up all of the items that you need, the giant cauldron, all the tables to get it working. Inventions you can do in anywhere that you can be comfortable sitting and just pull out different items that you need. It takes about an hour per invention level to disassemble, and then another hour per invention level to create a new invention. Instead of needing a whole workshop, inventions can be created in any comfortable space. Every invention has a targeting part, a triggering part, and a defect. Everything else like damaging parts, added effect parts, special parts, duration parts, those are all the in-between stuff. Those are all the extra pieces and sauces you put onto a sandwich. Inventions have a set number of slots you can fit parts into, dictated by the level of the invention. I misspelled invention there. That's funny. Let me quickly correct that. Unlike weapons and armor, parts can only be purchased in towns. So you can't go out and mine for these specific parts. You can only purchase them in towns and cities. You can put a part with a higher tier on a lower leveled invention, which is different from abilities and weapons and stuff like that. So first you want to think about what you want to make, and then go through the parts of creating it. So first off, you need one triggering part. This is who it's going to, one targeting part. This is going to be who it targets. Self will only target you, nobody else. Single can target an ally or an enemy, depending on the situation, depending on who you want to target. Random is you choose a group, and it randomly selects someone from that group or within a specific area. A group target will do an AoE if it's map combat, or do a group if it's within line combat. Unfocused is everybody. Everybody on the field gets affected by this targeting part. Some of ways like that are good, and some of them not so much. Next up, you want a triggering part. This this determines. I think I lost my mic for a second. This determines the chance of success depending on what you want your invention to do. So tool accuracy can be used with negative status effects. Same with touch, strike, and slam. The tool accuracy is based off of your expertise, while the other three is a flat 30, 60, 90% chance of happening. The accuracy is for accuracy versus evasion. This is for like damaging parts, stuff like that. And auto hit can always succeed, and this is for positive status effects. Damage parts. So inventions that do damage must have at least one damage scale part and an attribute base part. Added effect parts can be added to enhance the damage and give special properties to attacks. Damage scale parts can stack. Inventions can only have one attribute base part, but inventions can have several different added effect parts. So damage scale parts basically increases the amount of the damage scale by 1, 2, 3, or 5. The difference for if you want to do that is dependent on the slot. So for example, having 1 damage plus plus requires 5 slots for your invention. But if you want the same number of damage scale, but you can only get damage, it would require 9 total slots. So upgrading as much as you can is very beneficial. Attributes. This is based off of, this determines what the calculation for the damage scale is, and based off of which attribute of yours it will be going off of. And so, for example, if you have that 1 damage plus plus and you have it do a magic attack, it would be 3 times your magic plus whatever the invention level is, divided by 2 number of d6. So if it's a invention level of 3, invention level of 4, let's say, it would be 3 times magic plus 2d6, and reduced by the target's magic armor. And as said before, you can only have 1 damage base part, but you can have as many effect parts as you want for that damage. And so there's a lot of fun things that you can have in there. Next section we have positive status effects. Like, you just want to give these with your give boons to your allies. All positive status effects must be paired with a duration part over here. Same with negative status effects if you want to cause poison or slow to a target. They will need to be paired with a duration so that that effect, it says how long those effects come into play. Special parts, you have mystical, where you replace evasion with magic evasion for trigger parts on the for the enemy. This will be very helpful if you know that the enemy that you're coming up against is very fast, very evasive, but not so much magic evasive. Dual effect is that it can have 2 different effects, but the user must choose which effect it will have. Twin effect and triune effect means that the 2 effects can happen both at the same time, instead of needing to choose one or the other. Dual defect and triple defect, which we'll get to defects in a second, means that you can have 2 or 3 defects and you can choose which one you want to use instead of the other. Because some defects are a little bit trickier than others. And it's also more situational. Next up we have elements. These let you choose any element that you want onto weapons or negative effects, but usually weapons. Special ones are any element, which you get to choose any element that for a specific attack with that invention. You get to decide. Random elements, you roll a 1d10 to see which element you're going to use, where 10 rerolls the die. And triple element, where you can decide 3 elements when installing, and you can switch between any of them for that specific use. Every single invention, like I mentioned before, has a targeting, a triggering, and a defect, and everything else is just in between what the invention does. Defects are basically because inventions are very temperamental. They're very loose cannon on the edge. So defects can have one of these 5 different inventions can have one of these 5 different defects: backfire, delay, surge, temperamental, or upkeep. And whatever you choose when you create the invention, that is entirely up to you. Some of they all scale with the or all but backfire scale with the level of the invention. And that's how to make inventions from the engineer class. Next up, we have the mixing table, which we invented for the... which we didn't invent it. We basically made it so that we can use it if you need if you choose to use the mixing skill. If multiple people in the campaign, if in Steal the Skies wants to grab the mixing skill, we'll make an entirely new sheet on your character sheet so that you can have this whole table, because part of the calculations down below, it requires your magic attribute rating. So how this works, how the mixing skill works, is you take 2 items together and you mash them together, and a determined thing comes out depending on what you mash together. We have the entire list of combat items that you can get. I think this is going to... yeah, of combat items that you can get. So let's put a Marlboro tentacle, mash it with a basilisk claw. And so as you can see, when you make the change, it will highlight that specific row, and you want to go to where it intersects. That will be a number with a link to that specific cell. So this is mashing these 2 items together will give you 175. You click on the cell. 175 is a group attack that will hit 3 random targets, deal this much bio damage, and there is a 60% chance to stone for infinity. And poison until cured. Wow, that's nasty. If this stone comes off. If they're able to be unstoned, then they will still be poisoned. So yeah. You just put in the 2 things, follow the sheet, and then click on it and go to that specific ability. And that's how you use the mixing table and the invention table. So that's going to be all the crafting so far in this. That's all the crafting we got. So I'll see you for whatever the next set of topics are. Bye.